Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set for race number 30, playoff race number 4, and the first race of the second round of the Duracell Cup Series playoffs. After last week's elimination race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we whittled down our playoff field from 16 to 12, so 12 drivers remain, and they will get ready for the next round of 3. Hillside here today, Lime Rock next week, and then our second elimination race, Arizona Speedway, where we will then compile our Elite 8. Remember, if any of our remaining playoff contenders win today's race or the next 2 races, they're locked into the round of 8, so I think we're going to see a lot of lithium blue banners and spoilers up here towards the front, trying to get themselves an early checkered flag. And we've got another story developing as well with our front row. Sebastian Kukulon lines up on the pole position for this one. I believe this is his first pole of the season, as I double check, and yes, it is. It's his first pole on the year. He'll start alongside of Cody Lamas, who is a playoff contender that just barely made his way here into the round of 12, the only rookie that is in the playoffs. And the developing story between these two, starting on the front row, is they come into this race separated by only 1 point in the rookie point standings. Cody Lamas, for a number of weeks, was dominating, had over a 12-point lead over then Derek Hamill, who was second. But now, since the last couple of weeks, especially Charlotte Roval and last week's race at Indianapolis, Sebastian Kukulon has cut it back down, and they are only separated by 1 point, and they start side by side. So as they would take the green, the two of them would actually be in a tie for the rookie points lead. So that battle continuing to heat up as the season goes on, and I think we could very well see a rookie points battle in the season finale at Homestead, Miami. But coming into this one, Cole Baker comes in as the points leader, 5 points over everybody else. The 4 drivers that will not be partaking in the playoffs for the remainder of the season that got eliminated last week include Jesse Turner, who was a winner during the playoffs last season, Matt McIntyre and Trey Wright, they were in their first playoff appearance, and Jordan Lopez, who also won a race last season during the playoffs, although if I recall correctly, he was eliminated from the playoffs at that time when we raced at Talladega. Without further ado, though, let's go down Trekside and get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
And you can take a look on the right side of your screen at today's 40-car starting lineup for the Hillshire Farms 300. You'll notice that the driver of the 25 making his Duracell Cup Series debut here today. He's rolling off from 6th place. That is Kev Shearer in the Shearer's Products Chevrolet. And as far as your points are coming into this race, you've got Cole Baker, 5 points in hand over everybody else because he had that win at Charlotte Roval. So he has 5 bonus points for that round coming into this one. And the other 11 drivers that made their way into this round of 12 include Carter Friesen, Benjamin Miles, Ryan Brommer, Carson Gum, Dylan Young, Ryan Acosta, Cody Lamas, Zach Rogers, Johnny Gardner, and Levi McIntyre, as well as Michael Norman. Green flags in the air. We're racing here at Hillside. Let's roll. "60 laps of racing here today. Difference from last season's race at Hillside. Last year we did not run the 2019 rules package, and obviously we've been running it all season long here in Season 2, so we'll have to see how that comes into play with how these drivers are able to hold on to the lead. I think we just got our answer here in the early stages. Sebastian Kukulon dropped back. Gardner took a turn out in front. Now he drops back. Adam Garcia now charges to the front. Looks like that race lead's going to be very difficult for drivers to hold, and that could be very important getting into the closing stages of this race. Zach Rogers, that bright green Monster Energy Dodge down there on the inside line, had a comeback finish last week at Indianapolis. He headed into that race in the 12th position in points, which was the lowest you could be and still make it into the next round. As wow, Alexander Rowe really putting pressure on Adam Garcia there. But Rogers got involved in an early wreck, had rear damage, but somehow was able to battle back for at least a somewhat decent finish and was able to make it into the round of 12. Another driver that did that as well was Michael Norman. Both of them just barely making it into the round of 12 by the skin of their teeth, and now trying to get themselves an early win here so they don't have to worry about that kind of a situation when we get to Arizona, as Charles Sanford is going to take the race lead now. They'll go 3 wide for second. Keith Batson sticks it down on the bottom. Puts Alexander Rowe way up top side, and Zach Rogers in the middle. Now Jesse Turner moved to the middle line as Batson's going to go for the race lead. Jessica Shelton now up here towards the front. As a matter of fact, all three of the S3 Motorsports cars are up here. Got that red car on the fourth on the inside line there. That is Kyle Matthews, the Cincinnati Reds Chevrolet. S3 Motorsports only has one win this season. That came from Kyle Matthews' win at Phoenix. Since then, they have not found victory lane. And we are almost going to go 4 wide back here. We are 4 wide. And Trey Wright gets into Kyle Matthews. This is going to be a big one. Kev Shearer's in it. James Qualls is involved. And they're still spinning down to the inside of the track. We're going to have to take a while to figure out who was involved. I saw somebody with a blue splitter involved. Ryan Brommer's involved. That's a playoff contender upside down on his roof. Ryan Acosta got a piece of it there in the 10. That's another playoff contender. Derek Hamill, boy, he's had a lot of hard hits in the last couple of weeks. He took a hard shot at Indy. He took a hard shot a few weeks ago at Coca-Cola. Damage on the left side of Zach Rogers. His teammate there, Ryan Brommer. Jordan Lopez, I don't know if he got involved or not. There is Ryan Acosta. I know he's got at least some right side damage, I think, and I think he made some left front contact with Ryan Brommer. Though visually, that car looks relatively clean. Jessica Shelton on pit road. A lot of rear end damage on that Smirnoff Chevrolet. Matt Haas is out of the race. Let's drop towards the back, see who else was in it. We know Qualls was spinning and was involved. There's Kev Shearer making his debut. He was in it. Matthew Rodriguez, Casey Nanico. There's another playoff contender, Dylan Young. You can see some front end damage on the Wawa Ford Mustang. Benjamin Miles, another playoff contender, was involved. We also saw the 21 of Marcus Sachi. He just left pit road. I don't know if some of these might be regularly scheduled stops. There is damage there on the 22 of Mitchell Collins as he's leaving pit lane. Yeah, Benjamin Miles came down for damage repair. You can see the buckle on the hood of his machine. There's his teammate Alexander Rowe with rear end damage as well. Johnny Gardner is back here. I don't know if he came to pit road for a regularly scheduled stop or if he was involved in the wreck or not. See some front end damage there. A little buckle on the hood of the Boy Scouts of America Ford, Trey Wright. Cody Lamas. Rear end damage on his machine. He did not pit though. He still runs in the 11th position with that damage. Somebody else is coming to pit road right now. And that is the defending champion, Chris Dollerton, the Starbucks Mustang. Looks like he might have some front end damage. I can't tell if that's just from my vantage point. He does have rear end damage there. Looks like some damage around the right rear quarter panel. Maybe a little bit of damage on the right side of the passenger door as well. And I just saw Kyle Matthews on pit road. There he is. They removed the rear deck lid and the rear bumper. Kyle Matthews was the one that this really started with, along with Trey Wright. They attempted 4 wide here at Hillside. Obviously, that wasn't going to work. We had ourselves a pretty big pile up there on the back straightaway. Let's go back and take a look at a replay of what happened as Keith Batson leads the way here in the Hillshire Farms 300. Well, I saw Kyle Matthews going into turn 1 kind of high, and I thought maybe Trey Wright was going to stick his nose in, and indeed he did. You can see right there, up into the left rear quarter panel. And this is off the corner, one of the worst places for it to happen. Qualls and Shelton nowhere to go. We're going to have to look further down to see others that might have been collected. There's Kev Shearer. Chris Dollerton got into Kev Shearer there. Alexander Rowe's going to get a piece. There's Matt Haas. He runs into the back of Alexander Rowe. Looks like Wyatt Quayle might have gotten through. And you can see they all start stacking up down on the bottom of the racetrack there. I saw Dylan Young down there, so we'll check and see what happened to him. There's Ryan Brommer in the 9, so we'll have to check and see what happened to him with him getting spun out as well. Let's drop back and find the 2 of Dylan Young. Actually, we're going to go to the 8 of Matt Haas. Oh, wow, Matt Haas right there. Another shot. If I could get to the car I'm wanting to, that would be great. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. That's probably why. All right, let's rewind it back, see how playoff contender Dylan Young got involved. See, all these guys here, they're trying to figure out, are the cars ahead of us going to spin up the racetrack or down the racetrack? There you see up there on the left side of your screen, Mitchell Collins ran to the back of Cody Lamas. Benjamin Miles ran to the back of Mitchell Collins, so that's how they got their damage. And then Matt Haas, he drifts down the racetrack, and Dylan Young runs into the back of Derek Hamill there. Ryan Acosta, I think, might have run into the back of the 31 as well. And then he's held up behind the 38 of Jordan Lopez. Let's move up here to see what happens with Ryan Brommer now in the 9. You can see he's trapped there on the transition of the racetrack and the apron. Oh, he almost got through it. And watch how the 25 right here is going to get the hit from Brommer. Comes down and gets Brommer in the right rear quarter panel. McIntyre in the 7 got a piece of that wreck as well. Another driver we didn't know was involved. And then right there, Brommer's car only going about 30 miles per hour, so it comes to a dead stop as soon as he hits that transition, and the car is stuck at this point. And then you'll see top of your screen, I believe it's the 8 of Matt Haas comes flying in. His hood is up over his windshield, so I don't even think he saw Ryan Brommer. Dylan Young and Derek Hamill come plowing in, and there you see the 9 car goes up and over, and you start to see the black smoke erupting from underneath where the engine is. So that is a detrimental sign for Ryan Brommer, and undoubtedly it's going to take him out of this race. Watch the 10 of Ryan Acosta. Pretty sure he gets some contact with the left front right there, and indeed he does. So he had contact with the left front twice. Got into the back of, I think it was Derek Hamill with the left front earlier, and then gets into Ryan Brommer with the left front. A lot of times, that kind of contact, it may not seem like much, but sometimes it really can affect you in terms of handling and in terms of speed, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But Ryan Brommer is certainly going to find himself in a bit of a hole to dig out of when we get to Lime Rock next week, as he will undoubtedly be out of the race, and he might be joined by a couple of other playoff contenders. We'll have to find out as we head back to live action. Lights are out atop the pace cars. The field just crossed our finish line, so we are going green next time. Let's find out first who is out of the race. And right now, officially, only 2 drivers have pulled behind the wall. Matt Haas will finish in 39th and Ryan Brommer in 40th. So Ryan Brommer is going to definitely, he'll not be in a must-win situation, but he's definitely going to need good runs at Lime Rock and Arizona if he's going to move on to the round of 8. You see Dylan Young trapped 1 lap down there in the 2. Derek Hamill is 2 laps down. Jessica Shelton also 2 laps down. I think she's catching up here to line up on the inside line as well. Keith Batson will lead us back to green over pole sitter Sebastian Kukulon. Matt McIntyre, remember we said he got a piece of the wreck, but apparently not enough to bring to pit road. He'll restart 3rd over Charles Sanford and Jose Mills. Highest running of your playoff contenders right now is Levi McIntyre in 6th. Then you got Wyatt Quayle, Adam Garcia, then playoff contenders Michael Norman and Cody Lamas in 9th and 10th. We'll document where the rest of the playoff contenders are in just a moment as the green flag is back in the air here on lap number 12. See right there, Dylan Young is not up to speed, so that is not good for him. He will be trapped at least 1 lap down in this race. He has to hope now that other playoff contenders are going to have some issues here before this race comes to a close. Battle on for 2nd. Matt McIntyre to the inside of Sebastian Kukulon. Matt McIntyre got his first career win at Texas. It got him into his first appearance in the playoffs, but he got eliminated at the end of round 1, so certainly a shot in the arm would be for Matt McIntyre to be able to go to victory lane again. Charles Sanford right behind him. Sanford trying to get his first career win, and Levi McIntyre, who got his first career win earlier on this season at New Hampshire, he is trying to get his 2nd win and also an automatic ticket into the playoffs. There's a car on pit road, and I couldn't tell who it was. Well, that's Jessica Shelton in the 0-2. So she's going to fall multiple laps down, as got a good dogfight back here for 3rd. Michael Norman charging his way up there to the front, 2-time winner. Still in the playoffs, trying to make it to the round of 8. He's going to take 3rd place away from Adam Garcia. Follows in the tire tracks of fellow Camry Wyatt Quayle, who's going to now go to the point. I should also point out as well, I didn't talk about this, but I probably should have mentioned this, that Ryan Brommer, who is out of the race, was the defending winner of this event. Last year he was not in the playoffs though, so his win did not count towards a playoff position, but he was the defending winner of this event, so we are going to have a different winner here at Hillside in Season 2. Sebastian Kukulon continues to show the way. Let's drop back, find some more of our playoff contenders. Right now you've only got Michael Norman and Levi McIntyre up here towards the front. Next highest runner would be Johnny Gardner. He right now is in the 13th position. There's Zach Rogers right now in 17th. Cole Baker to his inside for that position. Actually, that's a battle for 18th place as the ticker had not updated itself. Rogers will now drop back to 19th. You've got Carter Friesen right now in the 22nd spot, trying to get by Alexander Rowe. Carson Gumb's back here in the 3 car. Looks like he had to get by some slower traffic as he right now runs in the 23rd position. And you drop further back, and these are the drivers that have to be a little bit worried with where they're currently positioned on track. Benjamin Miles in 31st. Cody Lamas taking that spot. So Miles back to 32nd, Lamas up to 31st, and Ryan Acosta right now in 34th. And there is Dylan Young in 36th. So as things stand right now, as we look at this battle going on here, 2 of these drivers with where they're running would find themselves in elimination spots, along with Dylan Young and Ryan Brommer. So right now it would be Miles, Lamas, Young, and Brommer. We had a spin just up ahead of these guys. That's a playoff contender in Zach Rogers. He's going to get the thing refired, but are we under caution? Yes, we are. Looks like it was just 1 car. Zach Rogers, fortunately, was able to get the car refired, was not stuck on the apron. Otherwise, that could have put him multiple laps down. And the caution will come out for the second time here today with Adam Garcia now out in front. So Zach Rogers obviously losing a lot of positions on track. And right now, with where he's running, that would drop him down to an elimination spot. But the good news for him is he did not get caught on the transition from the track to the apron. Otherwise, he would have had to teleport to pit road. That would have had him at least probably 2 laps down. And probably with a shot of not being able to get back on the lead lap either. Pit stops going on. Looks like everybody's going to come to pit road. I don't know if anyone's going to roll the dice and stay out. Remember, we had a number of drivers on pit road to repair crash damage. I don't necessarily think they're going to stay out, though. I think that this caution with its timing might put everybody in the fuel window where they would be able to make it the rest of the way. Remember, last year we did not use the CTS physics. We did not use the 2019 rules package, so these drivers having to deal with a slightly smaller fuel cell, and hence why we're seeing them take the opportunity to come to pit road here about 20 laps into this race. Dylan Young and Derek Hamill stay out. I think they're probably going to come to pit road this next time when pit road is open for lap cars. Shelton is going to pit as well. I thought maybe she might not because she had that unscheduled stop under that last green flag run. Keith Batson's going to come out with the race lead. So it will be the second time we'll have a restart, and the second time the 39 will lead us back to green. For now, let's go back and see what happened to Zach Rogers with his spin coming down into, I believe it was into turn 3. This was indeed coming off turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Zach Rogers in a fight here with Carter Friesen. This was for around the 20th position. And there you see it. Rogers exited the corner very low, so he was obviously blocking Carter Friesen, and Friesen apparently was not going to put up with it. Gets into the left rear corner panel, spins the 6 around, and he does make a little contact with the right rear into the inside wall. So they had to do a little bit of repair on that machine. But this is where it's really important. Watch the momentum he has coming up here into turn 3. First of all, very fortunate he didn't collect anybody up in that spin. But look right here. You can see right there, it almost looks like he is stuck. Now watch this. He's going to be very fervent in mashing the throttle. There you see the rear tires just barely on the banking. So he was able to get enough grip with the car fired up to be able to drive up there and turn that car around. So a very, very fortunate event right there. Even though I'm certain he did not want to lose all those spots on track, very fortunate for Zach Rogers that he was able to at least get the car refired and keep himself on the lead lap. 1 to green signal given. Keith Batson gets ready to get us back underway. Adam Garcia lines up in second. Wyatt Quayle in third. So non-playoff drivers 1, 2, 3. Highest running playoff contender Michael Norman now up in fourth. Got Charles Sanford, Vince Almerega, Marcus Sacchi, Carson Gumm, Johnny Gardner, and Matthew Rodriguez to your top 10. As we are back underway. Now, I'm pretty certain with getting the green flag with 35 laps to go, we are probably going to be good to go on fuel. But then again, first time that we've run with the 2019 rules package here, so maybe I'd be wrong, and maybe we'll see late pit stops. But Michael Norman fishtailing off of turn 4 there. Opens up the door for Charles Sanford as he couldn't hold the bottom, and now Carson Gumm trying to be the highest running playoff contender. This would be a battle for 5th between himself and Michael Norman, and it looks like he will have that inside advantage as he's following in the tire tracks of his rookie teammate Marcus Sacchi in the 21. I can't tell if that's the pace car I keep seeing sitting there on pit road or not. I guess it is. Caution is out, though. There's a car I keep seeing sitting on pit lane. I keep thinking someone's there, and maybe it's the pace car. And, oh, we had a big wreck, looks like, going into turn 3, and we've got some playoff contenders involved. And there was a driver that just got run into. I think that was Ryan Acosta by Lead Lap Machines, and Carson Gum might have been one of them. Marcus Sacchi was the other. Ryan Acosta's car was sitting in the middle of the track. And Marcus Sacchi now smoking on that Sandvik Chevrolet, and he is done. Oh, that is a tough break for him. There is Ryan Acosta, another playoff contender involved in a wreck. And we saw Benjamin Miles in the 33 also was collected up in whatever this was. So that is 3 playoff contenders now that have had issues here today. Well, 4 if you count Zach Rogers. Derek Hamill in the 31 sits on pit road as well. Some of these drivers, these are regularly scheduled stops. Carson Gum, Keith Batson, Adam Garcia, Vince Almriego, Wyatt Quayle, Johnny Gardner. They're all pitting on purpose, topping off the fuel tank. And that turns the race lead over, I do believe, to the 03 of Charles Sanford. Yes, it does. Trey Wright's on pit road. There's Zach Rogers. This looks like an extended stay for him. He might have been collected up in the wreck as well. Cody Lamas leaving pit road somewhat late. He might have also been involved in the wreck. And there you see the 6th place car last time crossing the line. Marcus Sacchi is going to be out of this event. That is a tough break as he had nowhere to go. Ryan Acosta was sitting right in the middle of the track, and all these drivers I don't think knew about it. Everyone scattered to avoid, and the 21 was the one that got pegged. So Charles Sanford leads the way here now under our 3rd caution of the day. Let's go back and see what happened. Well, the top 10 had gotten around the slower lap machines. This is back at a battle for 11th between William Brock and Sebastian Kukulon. You can see that Dylan Young in the 2, Derek Campbell the 31, Jessica Shelton in the 02. Drivers that are off the pace and off the lead lap were in the middle of all this. And let's see exactly what happens here off the corner. They're 3 wide, which we've seen them be able to hold pretty well. Watch the 2 of Dylan Young. I almost wonder if he might try getting out of the way of all these guys and maybe not be clear of our pole sitter Sebastian Kukulon. Let's watch here off the corner. You see the 2 migrating from the bottom to the top. Kukulon's getting a pretty good run there on the straightaway, and that's exactly what happened. So a little bit of spotter miscommunication for Dylan Young. He thought he was clear on Kukulon, obviously was not. And then this is where we're going to start to see stuff culminate. That's going to, I think, take out a few more of our playoff contenders. There you see, there's the contact right there from Dylan Young into the right front of Derek Hamill. That sends him down to rookie Casey Nanico. I think Nanico almost loses it, but keeps it straight barely. Derek Hamill, on the other hand, you can see that car snaps loose. Now here's where the issue is, going down towards the corner. We saw this with our first caution as well. Track with the banking there, sweeps back up the track, gets into Levi McIntyre first. There's Benjamin Miles, Ryan Acosta, Kev Shearer collected up, and up on the left side of your screen, Zach Rogers was in it as well. So that is 3 playoff contenders right there with very heavy damage. Rogers, who you can see right there, his day is done. Smoke billowing out of that machine, and is he gonna go over? Oh my goodness, he's got 2 tires, 2 left sides off the racing surface. There's Benjamin Miles. He's smoking. His day is done. And Ryan Acosta, we saw already, all crunched up. Looks like there's going to be more playoff contenders in the garage area. I'm almost wondering about Dylan Young as well. Don't know how hard a hit he took when he got turned to the outside wall by Sebastian Kukulon, but we could have 5 playoff drivers out of the race here in the first race of the second round of the playoffs. And so definitely Hillside is playing its part into factoring in who's going to move on to the round of 8 and who is not, as we are working yet another caution here at Hillside, nearing the halfway point. Now let's watch the replay of the leaders. Now they're coming into the corner, slowing down for the caution, and we saw that Ryan Acosta was trapped on the racetrack. You see everybody scattering to avoid. There's the 10 right in the middle of the track and nowhere for rookie Marcus Sacchi to go, and he almost got Carson Gum, but then his car teleported to pit road just before then. But that is a tough break because Marcus Sacchi had crossed the line, I believe, in the 6th position, was looking like he was going to have a really good run, and just like that, involved in a wreck that he wasn't even the start of or really even involved in. It was just a mistiming and unfortunate circumstances that Ryan Acosta had not yet teleported to pit road. And just like that, Marcus Sacchi goes from running inside of the top 10 now to behind the wall. Getting ready to go back green out of the race after that incident include Marcus Sacchi. He'll finish 32nd. Also out of the race are the cars of Kev Shearer, Benjamin Miles, Ryan Acosta, Zach Rogers, and Derek Hamill. Jessica Shelton is 4 laps down there. Dylan Young still 1 lap down. The good news for him right now is 4 playoff contenders are behind him in the finishing results. Right now, the danger zone spots would be held by Benjamin Miles, Ryan Acosta, Zach Rogers, and Ryan Brommer heading into next week's race at Lime Rock. Tough break there for Kev Shearer making his debut in the Duracell Cup Series, as he's been collected up in 2 wrecks today, and that last one was the hit that puts him back behind the wall. Up front, Charles Sanford leads the way. Michael Norman second. His teammate right behind him, and Matthew Rodriguez third. Then you got William Brock, Casey Nanico who had that save. He's up in 5th. Then Matt McIntyre, Austin LaPlante, Sebastian Kukel, Cole Baker now in the 9th position with Jose Mills completing the top 10. We are now past the halfway point here at Hillside. Michael Norman drives it in deep into turn 3, trying to get to the inside of Charles Sanford. Looks like he is there. He's alongside. Let's see who will lead this lap. It will be Norman by a nose, getting him at the start-finish line. Casey Nanico there in the 77. We saw him nearly get spun out after contact with Derek Hamill. You can see he's been involved in a wreck today with that rear end damage, but apparently it is not affecting him speed-wise. And there is Austin LaPlante, who took the checkers last week, his 2nd career Duracell Cup Series victory, 1st of the season at Indianapolis. Now up here trying to go for 2 wins in a row as he just pushed Matt McIntyre to the race lead. We've got 3 of the Michael Norman Motorsports Camrys up here inside of this lead group. Matt McIntyre in the 7, Matthew Rodriguez in the 57, Michael Norman in the 18. Matt Rod is the only one of the team that is yet to go to victory lane this year, as Michael Norman and Matt McIntyre have been to victory lane. The rookie teammate Cody Lamas has been to victory lane twice this season, so Matt Rod's the odd man out and would love to be able to win here today at Hillside, as we've got a bit of a breakaway here, and I almost wonder if it's because of the Dylan Young and Jessica Shelton cars that were on the inside line again, breaking the field up. Cole Baker right now is back in the 8th position, trying to hold off Jose Mills. Levi McIntyre right there as well in 10th. So right now you have 3 playoff contenders up inside of the top 10, the highest running of those being Michael Norman. So right now Norman, Baker, and McIntyre look like they're in good shape heading into Lime Rock. Carson Gum right now in the 12th spot, just ahead of Jordan Lopez and Jesse Turner, who were eliminated from the playoffs last week. Carter Friesen still there as well. He's inside the top 20 this time by. In the 15th position is where he is slotted. Drop back a little further. Johnny Gardner. Haven't really mentioned Johnny much today. He started up near the front, up inside of the top 10. Right now, mired back in the 22nd position. This is a move for 21st as he'll get by Trey Wright. Cody Lamas had damage from an earlier incident, a stack up on the high side for, I think it was our first caution. He's back in the 27th spot, trying to make his way by Adam Garcia and Wyatt Quayle, who both were up front not too long ago. And I believe that is it for the playoff contenders still running, with the exception of Dylan Young, who right now is in the 31st position, and he just got put a 2nd lap down as the leaders just caught up to both Dylan Young and Jessica Shelton. The top 4 got around. 5th place right now is held up. Matthew Rodriguez trying to get by. He will clear Shelton now. Nanico goes by, and now William Brock. So right now, 5th, 6th, and 7th just lost ground to the top 4. And now here come the other drivers inside the top 10. 8th back through 10th. Levi McIntyre getting held up there in that middle line. He's going to lose a lot of positions. Keith Batson's going to crack the top 10 now. That was a pass for 10th place right there between the 39 and the 99. Remember, Keith Batson spent a good portion of the race out in front. Led us back to green on our first 2 restarts. And now he just moved to 9th, getting by Jose Mills. Meanwhile, let's go up to our top 4, as right now teammates 1, 2, the Toyotas of Matt McIntyre and Michael Norman. Then you got the Chevrolet Camaros of Austin LaPlante and Charles Sanford. You look at these drivers and the differing stories they have coming into this race. Michael Norman, playoff contender, two-time winner, trying to make his way into the round of 8. Austin LaPlante, defending winner from last week at Indianapolis, trying to go for 2 wins in a row. Matt McIntyre, just recently eliminated from the playoffs, trying to get a trip to victory lane to kind of heal those wounds. And Charles Sanford still looking for his first career win here in the Duracell Cup Series. So who wants this win more? Right now, they have kind of gapped themselves back to 5th place, which is now a battle between William Brock, Casey Nanico, and Matthew Rodriguez. Nanico, the only one of those that has a win this season. Brock was a winner last year, but has not found victory lane this season. Same for Matthew Rodriguez. Right now, 5th place is about 2.7 seconds back from the race leader, and it looks like these top 4 are continuing to gap all the way back to that 3-way battle for 5th. Let's see what the interval is this time at the line. 2.7, and now it is 2.5, so it got cut down. Not by much, but it did get cut down. And there's going to be 15 to go when they hit the line next time by. Now, if you're Matt McIntyre, obviously you want to win. You want your second career win. You've just got eliminated from the playoffs, but do you move over? Do you let teammate Michael Norman get by to ensure that a Michael Norman Motorsports entry is going to make it into the Elite 8? I don't know. Austin LaPlante, though, very strong there on the inside line as well. LaPlante has never had a multi-time win or a multi-win season. He had a win last year at New Hampshire. He had a win this year at Indianapolis, and we've got traffic to deal with again. Shelton and Young, and look at Shelton. Oh my goodness, what is Jessica Shelton doing? Are we under caution? Yes, we are. That's why she was down there on the apron trying to get out of the way of the leaders, and the leaders... Oh, look out! Oh, that's what happened. Jack Mitchell was in the middle of the track. I thought the leaders might be coming to pit road, but the 0-1 was sitting in the middle of the track, and I don't know if he got anybody or not. Doesn't look like it. Oh, now they're stacking up here in turn 2, and that's Adam Garcia just got flipped over. Kukolan's going to get flipped over because everybody just started slowing down. Cole Baker got some damage out of that as well. Another of our playoff contenders, as Michael Norman has scored the race leader. Wyatt Quayle's on pit road, Jack Mitchell as well. So I'm assuming it started with them, and we will be getting a restart with 10 laps to go in this one. Cody Lamas on pit lane in the 84. There's Adam Garcia and Sebastian Kukolan. We know they got flipped over. I believe that's Levi McIntyre, right side of your screen as well, the Amazon Ford Mustang. So more playoff drivers involved in this latest caution. Jessica Shelton all crunched up there on the hood. I don't know where that came from unless there was a stack up that happened further back in the field, and Trey Wright smoking as well. There is McIntyre. He is on pit road. And so more playoff drivers finding issues here today at Hillside as Michael Norman leads us under our, I believe this is our 5th caution of the day at Hillside Raceway. Here's a look at what happened. 3 wide coming off the corner. Let's see where the contact starts. Oh, right there. Keith Batson slides up the corner into the left rear of Chris Dollerton. He gets Johnny Gardner, does Dollerton. Levi McIntyre gets sent down to the inside along with Jose Mills. Jesse Turner in the 47, nowhere to go. And then there were a bunch of drivers that were back behind this that are going to come flying in, and we're going to see them in just a brief moment. Not sure who it is they're going to hit. There you see Wyatt Quayle, Jack Mitchell. Oh, right there. Quayle gets his teammate. Mitchell's into him. Cody just squeaks by this one. Vince Almriego was involved, though, in the 42. Big stack up here. And you can see right there how the 0-1 is stuck there on that transition between the banking of the turn and the apron. So he's stuck there, not able to teleport back. I think Levi McIntyre had to teleport back as he was also stuck. Johnny Gardner damaged, so that's another playoff driver involved we didn't know about. And, oh, Cody Lama, something happened further up here with the 84. Oh, he did get a piece of it. It looked like he just narrowly avoided, but you'll see right here as Dalton's car juts out just barely at the last minute. Cody Lamas gets him with the right front. You can see the smoke lingering there, and then he just completely lost the brakes. I think that car just completely died, actually, and I think that the car just comes to a stop. There's no power, and the car just stops right in the middle of the corner. So Cody Lamas, who barely made it into the round of 12, now he's in trouble. He'll probably be with a DNF here today. Same for Levi McIntyre, and I want to see what happened further up here because I think someone got Jack Mitchell. Let's watch the 28 and the 02 of Shelton and Wright because they're coming into view here. There's the smoke. You will see the 01 of Mitchell still stuck down there on the bottom of the racetrack. And I wonder if it's one of these guys that get him. Someone got him. I don't know who it was. No, these guys get through. Who else had damage that I know of that was back here? Maybe it was all due to the stack up we saw. Let's fast forward a bit. There's Cole Baker trying to get through. Okay, there you see the stack up. Everybody was slow because they all had to come to a stop to get around Jack Mitchell. Now, we'll start with Cole Baker because this is where the stack-up begins from about 13th place on back. Here comes Kyle Matthews. He's not slowing down. Neither is Adam Garcia. Garcia runs into the back of Matthews. Matthews into the back of Baker. Mills into the back of Garcia. You see right there, that's what's going to flip the 12 car over. Kukalan's into the back of Jose Mills. And then right there, that hit is what's going to send Kukalan up and over on his roof. And then what happens with, I think Vince Almriego flips upside down as well. There you see him going by Kukalan, going by Garcia. William Brock's down there on the apron slow. Maybe that's what they all stopped for. Maybe Brock was down the apron and couldn't get back up, and drivers didn't want to advance their positions. There's the 28 and there's the 02, so... Oh, Trey Wright's going to run to the back of his own teammate, Jose Mills, and then Shelton nowhere to go as the 28 is completely 90 degrees facing the wrong way in front of her. So that's what happened to them. I think it really all starts with William Brock. I think Brock had gone down to the apron to avoid Jack Mitchell. Everybody behind him had to stay behind him or they would have gotten penalized, and Brock just couldn't get his car back up on track. He was stuck there on that transition, so with everybody stacking up and those trying to slow down for the caution, it's what caused the whole stack up through 1 and 2, and hence had several drivers upside down and a lot of drivers with damage. But I counted about 4 playoff contenders that got pretty significant damage in that one, and we're going to have to wait and see if they're going to be able to continue or not. Getting ready to go back green, Charles Sanford just hit pit road from the 4th position. You can see him there as we're getting ready to go back green with 10 laps to go. Not sure what's up with his machine, but he just gave up a possible top 5 to hit pit lane. And we will be going green this time. Michael Norman, the race leader, over Austin LaPlante, Matt McIntyre, Matthew Rodriguez, and Casey Nanico will be your updated top 5. And we will not have lap machines be on the inside line to stack up the field either. So just about everybody inside of the top 10 has a shot, really, of winning this race. William Brock's going to restart back in 6th. 7th is going to be Jordan Lopez. Ryan Butcher 8th. Benny Watson 9th. And right now Carson Gunn would be 10th. Rest of your top 15, Carter Friesen, Cole Baker, Kyle Matthews, Jose Mills, and Vince Almriego. 10 to go as they hit the line here. Green flag back in the air. Drivers out of the race after the latest incident include Levi McIntyre, Sebastian Kukalan, Jack Mitchell, Adam Garcia, Jesse Turner, Chris Dollerton, Johnny Gardner, Wyatt Quayle, Cody Lamas, and Jessica Shelton. So that's 2 more of our playoff drivers out of the race. Actually, I think Dylan Young might be out of the race too. We'll have to document that in a minute. But Johnny Gardner and Levi McIntyre, as well as Cody Lamas, that's 3 more playoff contenders actually out of this race as the battle is on for the lead. Casey Nanico to the inside of Matt McIntyre. 777 at the front. Look at William Brock, left side damage and all. He's now going to try and stick his nose in there for this race lead. You got Jordan Lopez, Ryan Butcher, Benny Watson, Carter Friesen, names we haven't talked about here in these closing stages. They're now up here with a shot. How about Cole Baker? Got jacked up from behind in that stack up under the last caution. He's up here inside the top 10 now, trying to ensure he's going to get a spot into the Elite 8. He was the only playoff contender to win in the first round. Will he be the first driver to get a win here in the second round of the playoffs? As Jordan Lopez, who just got eliminated from the playoffs last week, trying to get a victory, trying to get by William Brock. Jack Mitchell back on pit road. I thought he was out of the race, but he's not. Kukulon is actually not out of the race either. And Dylan Young still forging on. He's up to 23rd right now, even though he is 2 laps down. Meanwhile, at the front, and I'm wondering if that traffic's going to come into play as well. Dylan Young's not that far ahead of the race leaders, as Benny Watson now goes for the lead. Carter Friesen follows in line. Then there's Cole Baker. Then there's Carson Gum. We've got at least 4 playoff contenders up here in this lead group. The 37, the 11, the 3, and the 18. And remember, a win for any of those drivers today is an automatic ticket into the round of 8. They don't have to worry about Lime Rock. They don't have to worry about Arizona. 3 wide for the lead. Here comes Carson Gum in that bright neon yellow Sharpie Chevrolet. He'll go to the race lead. And I'm wondering, where is the 0-3 of Charles Sanford? Remember, he gave up to come to pit road. He gave up a lot of spots. He's back in the 13th position. So are these drivers good to go on fuel? Was there something Charles knew that the others did not? Meanwhile, they're catching Dylan Young, that slower machine. He's going to hold up the middle and outside line. McIntyre to the point. LaPlante to second. Butcher to third. Norman to fourth. That's 5th place on back. Got stacked up. Gum will move to 5th. Matthew Rodriguez now going to battle him for that spot, as now LaPlante back to the inside of Matt McIntyre for the lead. They're now catching another slow car. That's Sebastian Kukulon in the 1. He holds up the inside line. Matt McIntyre is going to clear for the race lead now. 2 laps to go when he hits the line as well. Look at Carson Gum. Swing around high, wide, and handsome. He'll go to second. LaPlante going to try and go to third. They split the 1-3 wide going into that corner. Now Carson Gum trying to hunt down Matt McIntyre. Does he have enough time, as Matt's going to be seeing the white flag this time by Carson Gum's about 9/10 of a second back. No traffic to deal with, it doesn't look like, for the 7 of Matt McIntyre, but Carson Gum is there. He's within striking distance. White flag in the air, 1 to go, 6/10 separate the top 2. Can Carson Gum get enough straightaway speed here on the backstretch? I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move, but maybe he will. Matt McIntyre, Carson Gum through 3 and 4. He got eliminated from the playoffs last week, but he'll get his 2nd career win here today. Matt McIntyre wins the Hillshire Farms 300 at Hillside Raceway. Becomes the 3rd driver out of the Michael Norman Motorsports stables to be a 2-time winner this season. Michael Norman has 2 wins, Cody Lamas has 2 wins, and now Matt McIntyre has 2 trips to victory lane. And the thing I think's got to be going through his head is, why couldn't this have happened 1 week ago? Because 1 week ago, if he had won, he would have been into this round of the playoffs. This win coming a little too late to keep his championship hopes alive, but still, 2nd trip to victory lane this season for the driver of the Mac Tools Toyota Camry. And if we had had 1 more lap, I think we'd have had a battle between himself and Carson Gum. Carson Gum will get the highest running playoff driver finish today of 2nd place, just ahead of Michael Norman. So both Gum and Norman will have nice cushion between themselves and the 8th position in points heading into next week. Of course, 8th place is where everybody wants to be, or above, when we get to the elimination race at Arizona. And how about Michael Norman Motorsports overall? 3 of their cars inside the top 4 finishing results, with Matthew Rodriguez bringing it home in that 4th place. And Toyota had 4 of the top 5 spots today, with Ryan Butcher finishing in the 5th position. I'll tell you what, ever since Ryan Butcher got that win at Coca-Cola Night, his finishes have been better and better the last couple of weeks. Then it's William Brock in 6th. That car looked like it wasn't going to be able to keep up with that left side damage, but definitely proved us wrong, as he'll bring it home with a top 10 over Jordan Lopez, another driver much like Matt McIntyre, who got eliminated last week. A great run, though, for him this week. Austin LaPlante finishes the day out in 8th after his victory last week. Benny Watson, nice to see him finish up inside the top 10 again, as he's really struggled this year. And Casey Nanico, the Auto Junction Racing Toyotas, continue to impress, as they will both finish in the top 10. Casey Nanico, I do believe, gets Rookie of the Race here today. Yes, he does. Charles Sanford, now he gave up the 4th position to come to pit road just before we went back green. He will finish the day out in 11th, but I'd be very curious to know what exactly they did on that pit stop. Was there a loose lug nut? Was there a loose wheel? Was there a flat tire? Or did they just come to top off? Whatever the case, he's still going to get a pretty good finish, but he might have been able to be in the conversation for the win had he not come to pit road on that before that last restart. Carter Friesen, great run for him there in 12th. Amazingly enough, that is the third highest finishing playoff driver. James Qualls, we never really talked about him today. He's going to bring it home with a solid 13th run. Mitchell Collins and Kyle Matthews, we know they both had damage, 14th and 15th for them. Cole Baker brings it home in 16th, so not quite the cushion he had in round one. But he, at least right now, I believe would be 4th in the point standings, although he could be a little bit higher because remember he came in with the 5 bonus points. Although I still think mathematically he would be either 3rd or 4th in the standings after this one. Keith Batson spent a good portion of the early race up front, but he finishes 17th, and the last cars finished on the lead lap were the top 20 with Alexandro 18th, Vince Almariego 19th, and Jose Mills in 20th. Levi McIntyre did manage to continue and finish this race. He finished one lap down in the 21st spot. Another playoff contender, Dylan Young, finished 23rd, 3 laps down. But the good news for both of them is a lot of playoff contenders finished behind them out of the race with DNFs, and they included Johnny Gardner, who finished in 29th, Cody Lamas in 31st, Benjamin Miles 35th, Ryan Acosta 36th, Zach Rogers 37th, and Ryan Brommer in 40th. So right now, the 4 drivers that would be in elimination spots would be Miles, Acosta, Rogers, and Brommer. The driver right now that would be on that very critical 8th position in points, I believe, would be Cody Lamas. So I think the points are going to be very, very tight from probably 5th place down to 12th place heading into next week. And next week's going to be a wild card race as well, as we're going to be going road course racing at Lime Rock. And that race, more oftentimes than not, tends to be a fuel strategy race. So definitely could play a huge shakeup into our playoff standings going into our second elimination race of the season at Arizona. But Matt McIntyre becomes a 2-time winner this season. It's his second career win in the Duracell Cup Series, so definitely a momentum booster for that team after getting eliminated from the playoffs last week. If you guys enjoyed today's race here from Hillside, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We have shown you full penny results, and these are your point standings as well as your updated playoff points heading into Lime Rock next week. Until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.